welcome back. It's Purple Bunny, and today's video is gonna be about skateboarding and what I learned about it. I know I was supposed to do the ending of, well, it was gonna be a little bit of a 3-part mini ending for relationships, but I decided to hold off on that so I could talk about something a little bit more lighthearted just before I get down and depressing about the ending of the relationship series. Because why not have some laughs before we get depressed? So, what I wanted to talk about was, skateboarding. I personally didn't really want to at first. Well, actually, I didn't want to learn how to skateboard, but my mom was very against it because she was the type of person that would think you could get very easily hurt with it. So I decided to not really question it, so I just went with it. But once I got to high school and then I officially broke it off with Night Sky, and I wanted to learn, I wanted to do new things, I wanted to try stuff because I spent a good amount of my time just living for someone else instead of myself. So I decided to pick up skateboarding, it'll be fun. Also, you might hear some jingling because that's my dog. She's just being a little nosy. But back to this topic at hand. I wanted to learn how to skateboard. So, first was, I asked a few of my friends. One of my hippie friends actually was the one who told me, why not skateboard? And I was first very concerned because, I thought I was going to be very clumsy at it. I was going to fall, I was going to eat shit. I was just not going to be good at it at all. So I was like, I don't know, man. It looks pretty up there for me to actually attempt to do. So I was scared, obviously. But he was like, no, you could do it. You just have to be the lead. You have to try. And I'm like, you know what, hippie friend? You're right. I just have to try. What's the worst that could happen? I could fall. I could fall while walking. Honestly, that's happened to me so many times, so what's the difference? So we decided. The next day, I asked my brother if I could borrow his skateboard because he wasn't using it anymore because he had a car by that point. And I was like, you know what? Hey, can I still use your longboard since you don't use it anymore? Yes, I use the longboard, not a skateboard, even though this is about skateboarding stories. It's still. I decided to use the longboard since I was told that would probably be the best thing for me to start off with since I was never on one. So I took it to school with me. I took the bus because God knows if I try to skate to school before I even know how to, it's going to end up very, very bad. So I took it on the bus, met my hippie friend. He saw me. He was like, oh, you got the board. Sweet. And then that's when we started practicing. And it was okay at first. The thing was, have you ever had a moment where you're trying so hard to focus on what you're doing so you don't freak it up, but somehow you end up messing it up anyways? Yeah, that was me. The thing was, I was trying so hard to focus on not falling. I was ignoring everyone around me, but there was this one kind of annoying kid that kept calling my name, and he wouldn't stop. And I kept telling him, not now, not now, not now. And he would not stop calling my name. Eventually, I just snapped. And I yelled at him, what? And that, my friends, was the moment where I knew I messed up. Because that moment was when I stepped a little bit backwards on the board. And the board, for some reason, just yeeted me off and went flying forward. Honestly, everything was happening so slow, it was kind of funny. Sorry, putting my dog down now. And it was so funny because I could see the kid that was trying to call me was just in shock that I fell. Even though he knew I hadn't ridden a board since, ever. But yeah, my hippie friend was behind me trying to warn me, but it was too late. The board was just flying out. And I got yeeted back. And as soon as I fell, I was like, well, this was a lesson. But I didn't give up, honestly. I wanted to keep trying because it still looked a lot of fun. So after that, I decided, let's keep practicing. Obviously without that other kid around. And my hippie friend finally gave me the okay approval that I was good on my own, which I was very grateful for, honestly. I don't know why he gave me his approval, but apparently he gave me the approval. So, the next story is going to be about a week after learning how to skateboard. Sorry, my dog just wants attention for some reason. And, I was riding from my house all the way to the campus. Keep in mind, my house is probably like 9 blocks away. So I was like, you know what? Let's skateboard it. Let's try it. I was maneuvering. I was doing good until I reached the end of the first block and I had a curve. I was like, okay, got it. But that street is very well known for having a lot of pine cones. The thing about longboards, you don't have to worry about rocks. You just have to worry about bigger objects, which is even more terrifying. And once again, I saw the objects. I saw it. I maneuvered around it. I was like, oh, hey, I got this. But the thing was, behind that pine cone, there was its friend, the other pine cone. And I didn't see that pine cone. So yet again, I got yeeted off my board. But this time, a car honked at me as I was in midair. For some apparent reason, the car thought it was a good idea to just honk at me like I could stop midair from falling. But yeah, it happened. I just got yeeted off my board yet again, but this time by a pine cone. Go figure. I ended up texting my current boyfriend at the time that what happened. I found it hilarious because I didn't know what to do. I just found it hilarious that I got yeeted by a pine cone from my own board. Luckily, I wasn't too badly damaged, but I just have a lot of stories of me getting thrown off by my board. Just because that's what happens with skateboarding. It's weird. The only reason why I started skateboarding was because I needed to get to my classes on time. The thing is, some of my classes seem to be on opposite ends of the campus, and I would only have like 10 minutes to get to said class. And I ain't trying to haul ass to get to one class to the other. So I decided, like, you know what? Let's just learn how to skateboard. You'll cut the time in half. You'll get there. You'll be happier. You won't be just all hyperventilating because you're sweating your ass off in the middle of the summer classes. And so yeah, and that way I could ride it home. But yeah, eventually a few of my friends as well started skateboarding with me, even though all I did was go cruising with said board. Never did any tricks, honestly. I didn't need any bigger injuries, which would have made for a good story, but nah, I don't need no bigger injuries, because I don't like taking that type of risk, so yeah. And the final story is just a little lesson I guess I've learned from just skateboarding in general, or longboarding, I don't know if there's a different term for it, is basically, people will not move for you in your campus when you're skateboarding, which is very annoying because you're yelling at them, excuse me, please move. They turn around and keep walking as if they're not in the way. So if you're really good and not a beginner, you can probably zoom past them and nothing and probably just get yelled at by them. But since I was a newbie and obviously didn't know what I was doing, yeah, I ate a lot of shit from falling. Just because, like, people did not want to move, especially girls, which annoyed me to no end. And I'm like, why are you like this? Why are you like this? Oh my god, you are not a fun human being at the moment. And why are you like this? I honestly didn't know. So I was stuck with that for a while. As well, weirdly enough, scooters were allowed on my campus, but not skateboards. If one of the security guards saw you with a skateboard, they will tell you to get off and just walk to your destination. But if you were on a scooter, you were fine. Which honestly, I don't get. But you know what? Eventually I did move on with the scooter instead of a skateboard because I had less injuries with the scooter. And no one could tell you otherwise in college. Hell yeah. But these are just some of my own little weird tidbit of stories that I've collected over the year and a half that I've been with the scooter and with my longboard actually. I honestly do love riding with a longboard, but I don't miss falling multiple times. I just actually remembered another tidbit story. One time I was skateboarding to class and someone decided to not move, and all I see is I hit another pine cone before I hit the person, ironically. I hit the pine cone. Again, I fall backwards. My backpack, for some reason, just goes up in the air. As I'm falling, it lands on my back. It lands on the floor for me to cushion my head. And I'm just sitting there on the floor contemplating what on earth just happened, because for God knows what reason, I just got saved. The only thing I was worried about is I had my 3DS in the back of my backpack. I was like, oh no, did I just break that? But then I realized it didn't land on the floor as I thought it did. It just was on top, which I'm honestly very grateful, to be honest, because 3DSs are expensive. Do not damage them. Love them as much as you can. And yeah, I know this story was all over the place, but these are just some random little silly stories that I have. Hopefully I'll share some more. I don't know if you like this type of style where I do just like one drawing and have explaining multiple little stories in one, or you enjoy like one continuous like art piece story that explains of what I'm talking about. Sorry, my dog is just being aggressive and biting the pillow right now. But honestly, yeah, that is her. Give me a second. Okay, I'm back. So to end the video, hopefully you guys like it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!